Hi, this is Jake Gray, and doing my week 4 response, I want to answer Alon Brand's question this week. He asks, considering the growing financial inequalities in the United States, could groups like or events like the Arab Spring take place here? And I would argue that, yeah, they certainly could to an extent. You make a good point that the U.S. has a much more structured and powerful response to uprisings like that, and the diversity definitely plays a role in the effectiveness that this might have here. But we've seen some movements like the Occupy movement and Bernie Sanders supporters recently that are villainizing the top 1% of earners in Wall Street and Fortune 500 companies, CEOs, etc. Um, as well as we've seen the Oregon ranchers recently against the government's eminent domain policies. We also saw a while ago the civil rights movement with MLK and Malcolm X, both violent and non-violent responses to civil rights abuses. We actually obviously saw some results from that. Also, I would say the BLM, Black Lives Matter movement recently, definitely against white privilege and the justice system and police force and their policies. Um, but I think you make a good point that it's hard to get these groups to work together, the different groups, to focus on the government as the problem and their policies. Um, I read a book recently for another class actually called Ain't No Making It, and it was a book, um, basically a bibliography of some kids in the 80s in a project in New Jersey, or Massachusetts, um, and a bunch of poor a group of poor white kids that were like Irish and Italian descent, and then a group of poor black kids. And they, throughout the thing, it like followed them from when they were teenagers, and then touched base again when they're in their mid 20s, and again when they're about 40. And in their teenage years, they blamed each other. The blacks blamed the whites, and the whites blamed the blacks for them being in the position they were in and being stuck. In their mid 20s, when the white kids were having a hard time finding jobs, and the black kids in this book were having a little bit more success, they started blaming things like affirmative action and government policies that were giving them the advantage in keeping the white kids where they were. And in the 40s, they kind of came back and said, well, that was kind of silly. Maybe we didn't try as hard as we could have, and kind of used it as an excuse, um, and added some reflection and said, really, the government's got us fighting each other when we should be fighting them collectively. So that's my response, and I guess just saying you had some good points. But I do believe that it's certainly possible here. Just think that, um, like you mentioned, it would be hard to rally to get some real effective changes. Thanks a lot.